Alright, I have to say a few words before we start this review. The Castlevania chronology is a little bit confusing. That's the reason why we now start reviewing these games in the order of the in-game universe's timeline. Might as well do it the right way. So enough talking, let's get to the review. Castlevania Lament of Innocence for the PlayStation 2 is set in the 11th century and tells the story of Leon Belmont, the first of the Belmont clan to face off with the forces of evil. Leon and his best friend Matthias Conquest are Knights of the Templar Order and famous warriors. This changes as evil monsters invade Europe and Leon's fiancée Sarah is kidnapped by the evil vampire Walter Bernard. Leon is now traveling to Walter's castle, called Eternal Night, to save his betrothed. But he is not alone in his fight. He gets help from the alchemist Rinaldo Gandolfi, a wise alchemist who supplies Leon with potions and the powerful alchemy whip. He's like a wise old wizard that gives the player advice. That sounds familiar. Don't I know a similar guy? But things are a little bit complicated. Leon has to slay 5 monsters to unlock the door to Walter's castle. To do so, he has to traverse through 5 different stages. There's the House of Sacred Remains, the Anti-Soul Alchemy Lab, the Dark Palace of Waterfalls, the Garden Forgotten by Time, and the Ghostly Theater. And as you can tell by yourself, this game abandons the typical 2D platforming gameplay for a free-roaming hack-and-slash type of gameplay. It also adds more RPG elements with different armor types and relics which give Leon special abilities. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this game feels more like a Devil May Cry game than a Castlevania one. But let's move on. The stages are filled with bloodthirsty monsters longing for Leon's blood. All the usual suspects are here. We got the zombies, the ghosts, and the evil knights. Nothing new to see here. All the usual sub-weapons are present, and this time around, all of them get neat special attacks. Lament of Innocence isn't a really difficult game, since it focuses more on combat and exploration in a Metroid-like environment. There are many hidden areas and special items in the game that can be obtained by backtracking through the stages. But the change in gameplay doesn't change the fact that I still can't jump for shit. At the end of each level, Leon will be faced by a boss. There's the classical Medusa and a golem, for example. But take a guess which one is my favorite.
Nice.
Wait, what is that thing?
That's a penis!
After defeating all the bosses, the way to the final boss will be free and Leon is ready to take on Walter. But before we continue, let me drop a spoiler warning here. Are we good to go? Great. Leon actually manages to save Sarah and to take her back to Rinaldo. But things aren't as rosy as they seem. Sarah got bitten by Walter and is now turning into a vampire with no means to save her. Sarah sacrifices her soul so Leon can use it to empower his whip and to create the legendary vampire killer. Wait, does that mean that all Belmonts are running around with their great-great-great-great-great-great-granny's soul trapped in the whip? That's weird. So now it's time to head to the main castle and fight our way to Walter's throne room. Leon manages to kill Walter, but hold on, the grim fucking Reaper suddenly shows up. That fucker has to be in every single game, doesn't he? He captures Walter's soul and delivers it to his master, Matthias. Turns out that our friend is now a vampire and became a creature of the night to get revenge on God. Yeah, you heard right, he turned into a vampire to stick it to God, who left his betrothed Elisabetta die. Leon now has to fight death itself, and after being victorious, he swears that the Belmont clan will always be there to fight Matthias, who now calls himself Dracula.
What a twist!
Finishing the game unlocks the second playable character, a vampire called Joachim Amster, and a harder difficulty level for the game. Castlevania Lament of Innocence is a nice prequel to the already established games and a fun game to play through. But I think that fans of the familiar platforming formula will be disappointed with it. The music in it is great as always, but lacks the usual Castlevania beats. On the negative side, I have to mention that the fixed camera angle can be a pain in the neck. Sometimes you can't even see the bosses while fighting them, or you have to run headfirst into danger. Something I don't really like to do. I rate Castlevania Lament of Innocence with 8 out of 10 dead loved ones.